Hey guys, it's Ari. I know it's been a while since I've been on and I apologize for that, but life has been super crazy. There's been a lot of changes in my life. This video is inspired by Christina Aguilera. It's basically a cut crease look with like a brown kind of cut crease with like a little bit of a wing and then the red lips, of course. I'm going to her concert tonight, so that's why I was inspired to do something inspired by her. I hope you guys like it, and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to try to keep up with my promise, which is posting at least once a week. I can't promise anything though. It's my last semester of college. Hope you like the video. Hey guys, so let's get started. So as usual, I'm going to tie my hair up so it's out of the way and makeup doesn't get in it. Then I'm just going to find a mirror so that I can start doing my makeup and actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to start with my Becca primer. It's the Backlight Illuminating Primer. I put it on the back of my hand because I didn't want to put too much on my face. My skin has actually been looking really good lately, so I just wanted to do something very natural and light. I'm just going to rub all that in with my hands, make sure that it's spread out perfectly. Then I'm going to go in with my Born This Way foundation. And again, I'm just going to put a little bit because my skin's actually looking good for once in my life, so I didn't want to put too much. I actually put it on my eyes as well because I think it's a good primer base, and it also just helps to ensure that my eyes are like the same color as the rest of my face. I blend it out to my ears and my neck as well, just so that the color doesn't, look harsh or that there's any harsh lines anywhere. I'm going to blend that out with a damp beauty blender as per usual, just basically dotting it around, making sure that it's all good. Then I'm going to use my primer water just to make sure that's all set in place. So next I'm going to go on my Carli Bybel palette. It's actually one of my favorite palettes that I have. I'm going to use a pencil brush because it's more precise and we're trying to get a precise cut crease. I'm going to use the top orange light shade as a transition shade. And I'm just going to apply this in my crease, no outer corners, nothing like that, because we are making a cut crease kind of look. I tried to show you guys on camera, but unfortunately the way that my lighting is set up, you guys can't actually see it because it is so light, but it is only the transition shade, so you'll be able to see it when it's a little bit darker. I tried to lean in so you guys could see it a little bit better, but it just wasn't working for me. So just know you put it in your crease, that light color that's in that top corner, and it should be good. The pencil brush allows you to be precise with that color and make sure that it goes the right way. Next, I'm going to dip into a medium brown orange shade in that palette. It's on the same row. I'm just going to do it the same way, put it in my crease, and the two colors will kind of be together there. Now, I kind of pull it out a little bit because I don't want my crease to just be there, so I kind of made it more of a wing because that's the shape of my eye and what I'm going for. And now I'm just going to use the fluffy brush to make sure that those two colors are blended perfectly together before I go in with a darker shade. Again, I apologize for my lighting situation, but that's just the way it is. I'm going to go in with that pencil brush again, and I'm going to go in with a darker brown orange shade, and again, pulling it out a little bit so it can wing out perfectly, and it's going to go on top of those two shades. I'm just following that line. It's my natural crease and then pulled out just slightly. Again, using a fluffy brush, I'm going to blend that out to make sure that it's perfect and that there's no harsh edges to it, kind of. You can be a little bit messy because we're going to cut it out later. Now I'm going to go in with a dark brown shade from that palette, and I'm only going to use that on the outer edges of that eye because I don't want it to be too dark on the inside. Again, to blend those shades out, I'm going to use that medium orange-brown shade just to make sure that it blends in properly so that the colors don't look uneven or harsh anywhere. Now I'm going to go in with my Naked Smokey palette, and I'm going to use this brown shade that is in there. It is the darkest shade because it is from a Smokey palette, so I did, again, only put it on the outer parts of my eye. And I'm just going to blend that in again with the same fluffy brush that has that orange-brown shade on it already. Now I'm going to go in with my concealer and just put a dot on the back of my hand and cut the crease. I'm using a concealer brush to do this. Most people have like a smaller brush, but I actually like my concealer brush. I think it's a good one. So I'm basically just cutting it out, getting rid of any messy edges or anything like that so that the crease is completely cut perfectly. Now, one side was a lot easier to do than the other. I was a lot messier with the one side than I was the other, so I actually had to clean up the edges on the outside as well. It also helped me get rid of some of the excess, and as you see, I kind of struggled fixing that one side it just was not cooperating with me. So I had to keep going back with the concealer, but thank God I did. And I actually ended up messing some of the eyeshadow up, so I just went back and quickly fixed it on that edge so that it looked normal again. Again, I'm going to go back in with concealer, cut it in perfectly, and blend to make sure that they don't look harsh. So now I'm going to go back in with my Naked Smokey palette. I'm just using a peachy shade just to put on my lid so it gives it some more depth and dimension to the eyes. My suggestion is if you are trying to get the color to work, use either, like I did, my finger, or you could use primer water or setting spray on a brush and actually just apply it that way, because I tried to just pick it up on my brush and it was not showing up. So I actually forgot at this point, which is why you saw me make the face, to do my under eyes, and I'm just going to use that deep brown orange shade, and I'm going to use the darkest brown shade in there just to apply under my eyes so that everything looks even and smoothed out so it doesn't look harsh anywhere. Again, I apologize about the lighting. I see that it keeps going in and out and it's just driving me crazy. But you just apply it under the eye. I used a pencil brush like I normally do, so that way it's, you know, nice looking and more precise. Then I'm going in with the Stila Fine Liner Eyeliner. Now, I actually love this eyeliner. It gives you the precision that you need. It's great. Christina Aguilera actually likes to wing her eyeliner out pretty far, but unfortunately on my face it just blends with my eyebrows, so I kind of pulled it out as far as I could. And then she usually has it really thin, but for some reason on me it came out really thick today. But it's okay, I mean, they look good. I actually pull my eyeliner in down towards my inner tear ducts, just so it doesn't look like it's coming out of nowhere. And you'll notice that my eyeliner isn't exactly even on both sides, but it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It just has to look somewhat similar. I mean, the wings look good, they're just pointed in different directions a little bit. The thickness is probably the same, and then just pulling them in that way makes it less noticeable, I feel. So that's the eyeliner. It's my favorite step, and it looks good, so I'm kind of happy about that. Next step is to go in with concealer again. Now I'm just going back in with concealer under my eyes to get rid of those under eye bags because I barely sleep and just it looks terrible. And then I'm also going to put like a dot on the side just so I can blend out any fallout or anything that's there that's not supposed to be. Now my concealer shade is really my skin tone, but it's a little bit darker, so I do have to kind of blend it so that it matches everything else. So I do blend it up and around, and you'll see I'm kind of pulling it down so that it looks the right way. For some reason when it oxidizes it gets to be a strange color, which is why I have to pull it down like that. Next thing I'm going to use is my eyelash curler to curl my lashes, which you guys know is #1 for me to do. Then I go in with the IT Cosmetics Superhero Lash Mascara. I don't find it to be an actual mascara. It's more of it applies fibers to your lashes and makes them longer naturally, I feel. So I kind of just leave that on there for a little bit before I start to add actual mascara. Because I just like the way that it looks and it makes my eyelashes look longer. Again, I'm going to go in with primer water just to make sure my face is all melting together and working together in the proper way. Then I'm going to go in with my Lorac Pro Contour Palette. Now I'm not going to go in too heavy with the contour today. I'm literally just going in on my cheekbones and my nose. Now the reason I like to go in with a actual contour palette on my cheekbones is because warm tones are what you're supposed to use in a contour, and a lot of people tend to use a warm tone, which is more orangey. It's just why they look orange, like an Oompa Loompa. So basically I just use this palette just to do that on my nose and my cheekbones and blend them in so that they look good. Now I'm using the brush that they gave me. It's really great because it's angled and it's nice and it actually works really well. And I think the contour works good too. And then to blend it all together, I go in with my butter bronzer, which as you guys know is a staple item for me. I love it. I use it on everything. It smells amazing. I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it before. And I'm just going to go in with a powder brush and blend those two together. Now I'm going to switch between a powder brush and then a basic contour brush because the contour brush allows me to be a little bit more precise with my bronzer than the blending brush does. So the blending brush is basically just to pull it all out. It's basically a regular powder brush that I use as a blending brush. I know, I'm weird, but that's what I like. So anyways, I'm going to go in with a beige shade from that contour palette just to make sure that everything that wasn't contoured looks good and is set in place. Now I'm going to go in with this new product that I just bought. It's by Makeup Revolution. It's not an expensive product. It is basically a highlighter, and I was having trouble getting the stuff off, so that's why you see me making those faces. Now when I opened it, I was kind of in shock by the way that it ended up looking on my face. I have a lot of issues with highlighters. They usually look, you know, non-existent on my skin tone for some reason, so I actually had to go in with a beauty blender to blend this out because it was so blinding. I mean, you can see on camera it's very apparent, and I was just in shock because it never really shows up on me like that. And that was only a dot on each cheek. So when I was going in on my nose, I was being really, really careful because I did not know how much would actually be needed to actually be seen. So I just put the tiniest, not even a drop, on my nose and like blended it out with my fingers because I was so scared to see what it looked like. But I was in shock, so I highly recommend that. Next, I'm going to use my Mally blush, which is actually my favorite blush that I've ever bought. It's in a peachy tone, and it's so pretty. So I just smile and basically apply it so that it looks good. And I put a little bit on the tip of my nose just so it all blends in perfectly and looks nice. The color is so nice on my skin tone. It's amazing. Then I'm going in again with the mascara I told you I'd come back to. I'm using the Ulta Ultra Lash Mascara. It's great. I just put it on the top. I put a little bit on the bottom as well. Not too crazy. And that's that. Then I'm going on to my lips. I just put on some EOS Crystal Silver lip gloss, I guess you could call it, just to make sure my lips are prepped because lipstick tends to dry them out. I'm going in with this L'Oreal red lip color. It's not my favorite. It's very light, very sheer. I ended up actually changing it later, so I'm actually wearing the NYX Cosmetics Simply Red lip cream instead. But yeah, this shade I put on the bottom, it basically just gives you that red color, but it's very glossy and it's very light, which is nice for an everyday thing, but I am going to a concert and I do want to look like Christina, who has those bright red lips. I also applied a Bobbi Brown lip gloss in red, which is actually very dark, so it actually combined really, really well. So I put that on top and it looked great and I loved it. And then I wiped any excess makeup on my hands off, and to set it all in place, I used my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, which was on sale at Ulta this week. So I was really excited and I used that, and that is my completed look. So as I pulled my hair out and I took my jacket off so you guys could see kind of what I was wearing, what I looked like, that is everything, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that. See you soon. Bye!